Chapter 46 Tokens. Then, in a moment to my view, the stranger started from disguise. The tokens in his hands I knew. The Savior stood before mine eyes. James Montgomery. A token is a visible, tangible thing that represents an idea. In this chapter, a token is a hand gesture, body pose, or a secret handshake, also called a grip. Many of us think of Masons and Mormons when we talk about secret handshakes, but the history, of course, goes back much further. As a 19-year-old in Chile, I was shocked when I saw a statue of a Catholic friar holding his hands out in front of him with one palm flat facing downwards and the other facing up in cupping shape. To me, that was a Mormon secret. My mind was really blown when I found out that all of the Mormons' secret signs are depicted openly in statues of gods in India, Thailand, and many other places. Even the Colossus of Constantine and the statue of George Washington by Horatio Greenborough displayed tokens in plain sight. Some of the Masonic and Mormon tokens are the same, and some are very different. But their link is not a surprise. After all, Smith was a Mason from a family of Masons. I started to see it everywhere. Presidents and people on trial are sworn in by raising one arm to the square with the other flat down on Scripture. The Boy Scout sign is with the arm to the square. The founding fathers of the USA were mostly Masons, and the founder of the Boy Scouts was too. But then we see the same token in sculptures around the world. Even Baal, the evil god according to the Jewish Bible, is depicted giving this token. Amun, the father of the Egyptian gods, also holds this pose. Buddha, Vishnu, Shiva, they all give this token. When Europeans first came in contact with Native Americans, the natives greeted them with this token, saying something like Hawe, maybe Yahweh. NASA sent a message on the Pioneer 10 spacecraft, in case it was intercepted by extraterrestrials, and on the gold plate message was a man with his right arm out to the square. The gods are known to use this sign. Americans, thinking the Europeans were gods, gave them the sign, and we sent this sign out to the gods. LDS ritual teaches that this sign was given to us by the gods, and it is the sign that one may use to detect true messengers of God. It can also be used to send beings away as well. One arm extended to the side seems to be a universal token. It may be a sign of power and authority, or it may simply be a greeting gesture. But if we humans saw the gods come down from the heavens and give this sign, we would probably make statues and wall paintings of it. The first grip and pass grip in Masonic and Mormon ritual are identical and mean little, unless Brigham Young was right in saying that the tokens learned in the temple are to be used to get past the angels that guard gates in the afterlife. The later grips differ significantly and have more to do with what is being taught in the ritual. As in all mystery schools, the basic idea is that life goes on in eternity. The gesture of the hand in cupping shape is also found in ancient statuary. It has been suggested that it symbolizes receiving blessings from the gods. But in many ancient statues, hands are held out in this way while holding a sphere of the earth, denoting power and dominion. Mormon tokens teach that Jesus was pierced in his hands and wrists. Being the son of a god and an initiate, Jesus likely used tokens with his inner circle. After he rose from the tomb, Jesus visited his disciples. They were afraid of him, and he said, "Behold, my hands and my feet." Normally, we look at someone's face to recognize them, but he shows his hands and feet. Rather than showing them holes, he may have been giving a token that they would recognize. In Masonry, geometric signs are given with the hands and the feet. This can be seen in Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. Tokens are made with the feet in Amwork ritual as well. Another token or sign that has been used all over the world is that of both arms out to the square with the hands raised. It has been used as a sign of distress or surrender. Devotees of many faiths hold this pose as a sign of worship and praise. It is used in LDS temple prayer. It was used by Joseph Smith while he was shot to death and repeating the words of the Masonic Grand Hailing Sign or Sign of Distress. It is a token in one of the Rose Croix degrees as well. Muslims use this token while praying, as do Pentecostal Christians. It is a religious token for North American tribes, and in ancient Egypt, it was the hieroglyph for one's soul, or Ka. This sign is also seen in the double-handed or samyukta gesture in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, called the Abhaya Mudra. It represents protection and peace. Another is called the Ardhachandra Mudra, half-moon gesture, which also can be done with both hands, and the Shanti Mudra. The mudras of India are a much older, more complete, and more meaningful set of hand signs than can be found elsewhere. Mudras, seals, are hand gestures that facilitate energy flow in the body. There are too many to illustrate them all in this work, but here are some renditions of medieval art that depict Jesus holding up Hindu mudras. Prithvi Mudra, Prana Mudra, Apana Mudra, Varada Mudra. The Kuji-in are an esoteric set of 9 hand seals or mudras that were brought to China and Japan. They are Rin, Pyo, To, Sha, Kai, Jin, Ritsu, Zai, and Zen. Using these hand signs and their accompanying mantras is said to bring the aid of warrior spirit gods. Shinto priests use the words and signs to fight off demons for people that are entering the afterlife. The Chinese phrase Lin Bing Dao Ze Jie, Zen Le Qian Hang can roughly be translated as, "Celestial soldiers, descend and arrange yourselves in front of me." The Kohanim, Aaronic Jews, have a hand gesture of blessing that is made by raising the hands with the palms forward, the thumb extended, and the middle and ring fingers spread. It is the same as Mr. Spock's "Live Long and Prosper" sign in Star Trek, and that of Mork from Ork. A Masonic grip that refers to life after death is depicted in many movies. One such film is Deadpool, which shows Vanessa giving this grip to Wade as he enters the afterlife. Rosicrucians and the Knights Templar would place the index finger on the lips as a sign of secrecy. Pythagoreans had secret handshakes and the geometric symbol of the pentagram as a means of identifying other members of the society. The compass, square, and level are referred to through bodily postures of the arms and legs, as well as embroidery on sacred undergarments, and the tools themselves on an altar. But these symbols have also been seen as signs in the sky and on magic rings. An LDS apostle named Parley Pratt was walking one night in the 1800s and saw a fire-like light appear in the sky as a horizontal line. It then transformed into a 90-degree angle or perfect square, then to the shape of a compass. Parley took it as a sign of the times, and he believed that these symbols were only revealed to the wise. In the 1500s, an angel showed John B. a gold ring with a compass V, square L, and level dash on it, along with the letters PELE. Mormon temple garments have these symbols, and the phrase Pele Ale used to be part of the endowment ceremony. More on the symbolism of the compass and square can be found in Chapter 52. The image below is of a Buddhist statue depicting the esoteric tokens that are found in many mystery schools, including the Masons and Mormons. Note that the figure on the left has his right arm to the square and the palm of his hand forward. The figure on the right has his hand in cupping shape and both arms are squared. The central figure has his left hand in cupping shape and the right hand with the palm down. Passwords and the lost word. As previously discussed, Masons have passwords for different degrees. The password for a Master Mason is said to be lost, and a substitute is given. The substitute is a series of syllables that have been said to sound like marrow in the bone. The lost word is later shown to be YHVH, the letters for the Hebrew god Jehovah. This name was considered so sacred to Jews that if one spoke it out loud, they would be stoned to death. Old Hebrew did not have vowel letters, and because of this, it has become a lost word. It may be Yahweh, Yahoo, or a number of other combinations. Using this name of God is believed to invoke power. Knowing the name of a god is believed to give one access to the power of that god. A poem by Henry Adamson reads, "We are brethren of the Rosy Cross. We have the Mason word and second sight. Things for to come we can foretell aright." An Egyptian myth portrays the goddess Isis tricking her father Ra into divulging his real name to her so that she could wield more power. The secret name of Ra was Amun. A similar Masonic word is Aum. Passwords are whispered in the right ear. Mormons give the passwords and tokens through a veil in the temple before entering the celestial room. Oaths and signs. Masons make solemn oaths that they will never reveal the secrets of Masonry and that they would rather be disemboweled, have their tongue cut out, or have their heart ripped out than be unfaithful to the promise they were just told to make. Joseph Smith used the same blood oaths, penalties, and signs for them as the Masons do in his temple ritual. The church eventually omitted that part of the ritual. Masons say that it is only symbolic and has never been acted out by Masonic authority. But there have been zealous members of both of these organizations that felt justified in taking what they thought was justice into their own hands. Examples are William Morgan and the Mountain Meadow Massacre. An old Jewish tale of an oath taken by the fallen angels reads, "And Semjaiah, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear with an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it." Enoch 6. Though Smith was a Mason and used Masonic oaths, he also wrote that Cain made a similar oath with Satan when he killed Abel. The Book of Mormon also talks about a group of conspirators that used secret signs and took blood oaths as bad guys. It seems contradictory to talk bad about secret signs and oaths when you use them in your most sacred ceremonies. Then again, George Washington was proud to be a Mason, while he feared that the Illuminati were infiltrating the U.S. Of course, not all secret societies have the same intentions, even if they sprang from the same source. Some aim to make people better, while others seem bent on dominating the world by any means necessary.